Hello, and welcome back to a new episode of Mario Kart Monday.
Mario
I hope you enjoyed last week's episode if you had a chance to watch. If not, feel free to watch that before watching this one. Anyway, today we're gonna go do 100cc mode in Grand Prix. This time I chose to do Bowser Jr. With the B-Dasher, the Slim Tires, and the Gold Glider. And we will be doing the Banana Cup today. Alright, you see these four tracks? They look pretty familiar. Alright, let's get started. So, I know last week I forgot to mention to vote for the next character, and I'm going to change it up a bit. Instead of having it open-ended, I'm going to suggest maybe 3 or 4 in the comments, I guess, of characters that I haven't played with, and whoever gets the most votes obviously will win. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so talk about something today. Mario Kart related topics. So I know I've talked about this in the past, but they're releasing a new mobile game, Mario Kart, for mobile next year. I'm hoping later this year they'll, announce more details. But in the meantime, all we can do is theorize and come up with guesses or make our own videos on what it'll be like. That's an idea, right? Another game. So I've played pretty much all of the Mario Kart games in the series. The one I haven't really got a chance to play enough was Mario Kart 7. Since I don't own a 3DS, I haven't had the chance to do so. But I looked at playthroughs and I really enjoyed the tracks, especially in the new tracks in that game and the mechanics, the gliding, and the underwater one, which is really awesome. But I thought it was really different in that game with the types of courses that were in it. I mean, obviously there was a circuit, Toad Circuit, but there was also Shy Guy Bazaar, which apparently is based off an uncompleted Mario game. That I don't know if it was released in America, or I don't know if it was released at all, but I know it wasn't released in America. And it had Shy Guys and like some Arabian Nights theme. So it was called Shy Guy Bazaar, which I thought was really cool, Arabian theme. But I also thought was a really cool is that they kind of brought in another game. They brought in Wii Sports with Woohoo Island, so they got 2 tracks actually in that game. They got Woohoo Loop and Woohoo Island. Woohoo Loop, and I don't remember the other one. Maka Woohoo is what it was. And sorry, just to get a little off topic, but that was perfect timing with the Mega Horn. Anyway, back to Mario Kart 7. I think some of my favorite tracks were definitely the Rainbow Road. That Rainbow Road was so gorgeous. The new theme going out in outer space across different planets, different moon surfaces. I also enjoyed Rosalina's Ice World. I thought that was really cool. The music, the style, the theme, and you actually saw Rosalina's observatory in some of the background. And then another one I thought was really cool is Wario's shipyard. I don't know if in Europe I think it's called Wario's Galleon, but Wario's shipyard looks really cool. That's one track I really wish they brought back in Mario Kart 8. Maybe next Mario Kart for the Switch they will include it. You guys would think that would be cool? On to round 2 or track course 2. So I remember years ago there was this old character in Mario Party 5, Koopa Kid, and I don't exactly know what happened to him. because they probably replaced him with Bowser Jr. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was, but I guess because the personalities were very similar, that they didn't see the need of having two. Plus, Bowser Jr., the title alone suggests he's his son, which I think has been confirmed. But you know how everyone was saying that the Koopalings were Bowser's children? Well, I remember reading somewhere a while ago that they were confirmed they weren't their children. They weren't Bowser's children. I don't know how they got associated with them, but if there was like a background story game or whatever to talk about that would be pretty neat. Maybe there's a theory going around, who knows? You guys want to start a theory? But, yep. Oh, so in gaming, have any of you seen the new Ready Player One movie? It's pretty lit. I like it. Nothing like the book if you read the book, but it's still enjoyable nonetheless. And my favorite part is looking at different videos on the cameos and Easter eggs that appeared. There are a lot of them, especially, and a lot of them are subtle, so you'd have to really pause it frame by frame to really see what each reference is. I've actually noticed Sonic when I saw it in theaters, but for a brief second. But just having Sonic in the movie was pretty cool. Shout out to Sega. If you guys seen it, what do you guys think about the movie? If you haven't seen it yet, you should totally do it. I remember the one Mario Kart reference though, it wasn't subtle. You know, in the trailer H said, "Oh, I'm practicing my Mario Kart," which I thought was a really cute nod because they were driving on the road. Too bad there weren't actually bananas or blue shells or red shells to go through. Anyway, on to track 3, course 3. I really like what they did with this course in particular because I looked at the original and it's kind of, I felt it was kind of bland from N64, but to be fair, you know, it was back then when they had their own limitations. But man, they've really done this track justice. With the beautiful pink petals, the trimming along the sides of the road, the trees. It just feels beautiful and it feels complete. The archway, the bells, the different colored hot air balloons. You got one for each princess. You got one for Rosalina, one for Peach, one for Daisy. Shout out to Daisy, by the way. But I think they really did a number on this track, and I think it's one of the coolest looking track updates I've seen. Obviously, the later games had probably fewer and fewer updates, because they may not have been needed. And let's just use that mobile home. But man, this one is so bursting with color, with action, so much stuff going on. And it definitely feels more, you know, the space is more occupied and more well thought out. And I just love the petals floating around at that point. Just detail and stuff to make it more, I guess, lively or realistic. And there's the princess logo. What is unfortunate is they closed off the path to the castle. I know in the N64 version you were actually able to drive up to the castle, but they, you know, gated it off, which is fine because they've added all this other stuff that it's fair. It's, you know, balances out, I think. Onto my last lap. And another blue shell, wonderful. They just keep coming, and I just keep... Well, like, not this time, but I usually knock them. I've been knocking them out a few times lately. Have you seen it? You're watching. It's a shame I had to use the Mega Horn on the red shell, but hey, it is what it is, and hopefully I can get to the finish line without another blue shell. So I hope I didn't jinx it by saying that. Yes, I got it just before the blue shell struck. I know a lot of people call it the blue shell, but I think its official title is spiny shell. After calling it the blue shell so often, that calling it the spiny shell really makes me uncomfortable. Like, I'm not used to it. It's one of those things where when you find something is actually named something else or pronounced something else, and you've been saying it wrong the whole time, just, either it takes a while to adapt or you just stick with the original. Like, when I was younger and I had the Metroid Zero Mission game, I assumed Ridley was pronounced Ridley, so for years I've been calling it Ridley, and until recently, well, not recently, but until like maybe 2 years or 3 years ago, I found it's actually pronounced Ridley, so I've been calling it that since. I hope you guys didn't hear that. That was just my dumb brother surging in. Oh, I kind of want to show you guys this if you haven't noticed. So, if I look backwards after this point of view, you can actually see it disappear. On the back, you kind of see it. Oh, well, you used to be able to see it vanish in the background, but I guess when they updated this game, that they've gotten rid of that. But I know in Mario Kart 8, the original, you can actually see it disappear because of either some coding error, but it was just kind of funny. Because even though you saw it from a distance disappear, you can still see the drivers, and it looks like they're driving on air. One of those little details that was kind of funny. Obviously it was unintentional, but still enjoyed it nonetheless. Let's do this. But I also like that they did a DK Jungle theme. It makes me wonder if they're gonna do more, I guess, maybe game-specific areas. Kind of like how they did Maka Woohoo and DK Jungle for Donkey Kong Country or whatever. Just, I don't know, maybe something more specific to a different Mario game? Like maybe a more actual Peach Castle track. I know in Mario Kart 7, going back to that you could drive in part of the Mario circuit, you could drive in Peach's Castle, the ramp, but it just didn't feel like enough. So they had a specifically designed track in Peach's Castle. That was really cool. Guys, question let's make a question of the day. Question of the day. If they were to make a Princess Peach's Castle, how would the design or layout look like? Maybe you guys would feel like drawing a map and sharing it with everyone. I think that's a little challenge, right? But what layout? What would they have in it? Maybe if we can get enough people interested, we can submit it, and they'll be like, hey, we haven't done a Peach Castle thing track. Why don't we go ahead and do that? But anyway, that was track 4 of 4. We're just gonna wait our ceremony. But I want to thank you guys who have been watching my videos in the past. I try to improve each time and get new feedback on what I should be doing from the channel. Please feel free to leave a comment letting me know how I've been doing, how I can improve. Obviously, subscribe, and please share with your friends, tell them about it. And I will leave a comment asking which 4 characters I should play as for next week's episode. Show your friends this video, leave a comment on how I can improve, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you very much.